I think there are quite a few people who don't always agree with what I say. And yet I don't have a need to make them wrong. Some of them may feel they need to make me wrong. Few do. Most just say, well, I don't relate to that, or I don't understand. And of course, simply because someone doesn't relate to something a teacher said doesn't mean the teacher's wrong, does it? But you see, the ego has gotten so prominent, that part of self that wants to take over the spiritual journey, that wants to take over everything, that wants to be in charge. And therein lies a great illusion. You know, you're not in charge of all that much. Clearly, if all of you were in charge, either collectively or individually, there wouldn't be any war going on anywhere. There wouldn't be bombers flying over nations in Africa that are exceedingly impoverished, bombing the facilities where the goods that have come from perhaps the West are stored. That's happening in Ukraine as well. The food and the medical supply. In fact, there's very few buildings standing in any of Ukraine's cities right now. So this is really a war of terrorism, isn't it? And I know some of you listen to different newscasts, and some will say that's not true, that what's going on in Ukraine is not a war at all. And if you listen to those newscasts, that's okay. In fact, I think it's a good thing. But you need to listen to the others as well, because the world is a much bigger place than some would have you believe. And both sides in this war are comprised of people who are your brothers and sisters. See, ideology doesn't really matter when it comes to the human family. People think it matters, but it doesn't. You're all alike. Yes, there are cultural differences that should be honored and respected. Yes. But at the very most basic level, it boils down to this. Do you want to be happy? So does every other living being. Do you want to be free from inner pain? Do you want to be free from the pain of being judged by somebody else? Do you want to be free of the angry mind that judges other people? Yes. And at that very basic level, everybody is the same. Now, granted, culture to culture, people may go about arriving at happiness differently. But that's all right, isn't it? The problem is that as more and more people populate the earth, they began to view each other's journeys to happiness, or let's say to a lack of suffering,